Morning everyone, Striftcal, once more Etrian Odyssey, and today we are going to be wrapping up the last of our quests here before we continue down past the Ant Queen. So we're going to start off. I went ahead and leveled up our Ronin because it turns out I was a little bit over concerned about what level we needed to be to complete the quest that we've got here at the guild, or at the Golden Pub. So we're gonna go ahead and grab to meet a Blade Master, because you only need it to be level 20. Poor kid, he'll never be strong, so he wants to meet a powerful adventurer. Quick and easy. Get the Odachi. Goodness, you've become a strong Ronin. Let's go see the boy. Kid seemed happy, jumping up and down like that. Almost too happy. You've done 3 things for him because he's so weak, but he doesn't seem so weak to me. Is that kid sick at all? It's not a very funny joke. Oh, you think he got better because you met all their requests? That's a sweet thing to think. We'll just go with that theory then. Okay. We're now going to grab Feat of Strength. You sure about that? This one is an ordeal that comes directly from the head of the Explorers Guild. It's very dangerous, but I know you can do it, or it'll be a real feather in your cap. Oh, we need to beat a cutter solo. I did not realize that. Ferocious bear that got its name from its sharp claws. Honestly, I don't know if I'm comfortable asking anyone to challenge it one-on-one, but praying for your safe return. Okay. Well, that's a little scarier than I was anticipating, but I think we should still be okay. My other concern here is actually that I just killed a bunch of the FOEs on floor 6 to get my Ronin. What I'm actually gonna do is go to the Explorers Guild. Oh. You're with Legends, right? You're pretty brave accepting a challenge like this. If you're not confident, though, don't throw your life away. A solo run takes real skill. We're actually going to grab Cordelia for this, who is our secondary Landsknecht. And the reason I'm gonna go... Oh, you're trying to go into the forest alone. Why all the adventures gotta do such stupid things? If you make it back alive, I'll buy the first round to toast. Okay. So, the reason we're going with Cordelia over our other Landsknecht, at this point, they're only a few levels different. She's got 2-hit maxed out. She's got axes maxed out. And she's got a bunch of points in defense up, which is something that our other Landsknecht does not have, because I've had to invest in so many different skills to get his like blazer maxed out. So I think that she's going to have the better chance at this. We are gonna save. And we're gonna go straight to floor 6. And let's see if there are any cutters left. There aren't right now. I didn't realize what we had to fight here, so that is unfortunate. Do I want to just cheese this and power through? I think we'll save it. At this point, it's not like we have a bunch of things clogging up our quest log, which was the main reason I wanted to clear out my quests. And we want Rusalka. None of the enemies in the rest of the third stratum are weak to fire, and most of them resist fire. So we're going to be carrying Rusalka through, and actually, you know what? Let's register this as set 3. We're going to carry Rusalka through the rest of this stratum pretty much until we get, maybe until we get to the boss, possibly all the way through. So Azure Rainforest. I don't have a path set up for this yet. And let's head down into floor 13. See what we've got here. So right off the bat, this has some weird tiles where there's, I mean, it's effectively the same as it is. It's walls, but it's walls that you can see across, which is always interesting to me in these because I'm never sure exactly how to map it, but I think this is how the game generally does. So we're going to go ahead and mark these out. The nice thing is you do get a chance to see across. I'm not going to be mapping all of that in as we go. I do want to cut across down here to try and get to this spring. Just because if we have access to it, I don't need it right now. But just knowing where it is and having access to it is good. So I did lie slightly. The wood bats that we're running into there are the only enemy that's actually weak to fire. And they will be popping up here, but nothing else is. And I still feel like it's worth not pursuing for that reason. Especially since the wood bats are... Actually, wait, are the wood bats weak to fire? Oh, the wood bats are weak to any element. So technically they're so weak to fire. But regardless, my point stands. It's not worth it. I feel like it's mocking me. Those are a palette swap of the enemy we want to fight, but don't have the ability to right now. Red Claw. This is a regular enemy, so I think we'll be okay to just go through and just attack and ice. Okay, they are weak to ice. Red Hide is one of the items we need for our... Red Hide is one of the items we need for the shop, so that's actually good. Let's burn another Stalker. You suddenly catch a glimpse of someone's shadow from its place in nearby in the nearby brush. It closely watches your every move. Who would be here? Ben and Klokta, perhaps? They're usually more direct, never hiding themselves in the shadows. Let's go ahead and approach the shadow. It withdraws into the trees. Okay, now we did get a little bit of a hint about this, saying that there were was someone else in these labyrinths, humanoid forms, And our current mission is to investigate them. So we are getting further evidence of that. So I saw an FOE briefly there, but I didn't see where it went. This does seem to be a straight through path. Wind Whip, which we don't have our whip character currently. I'm not sure if that's worth anything or not. So looks like this is the only way to go. Yeah, the big problem with a lot of with the way that these water sections work is it is extremely deceptive which paths are dead ends and such because of the fact that you can still see. It does also just let you predict a little bit more or try and guide where you're going, and in some cases it actually will show you where some secret passages are, which is kind of cool. I'm actually going to burn Defender here, because these bats hit pretty hard. Like I said. So far, there's only been one actual path here. It doesn't split too much. Outside of a few spots where we can get treasure. So now we're on the right side. And of course, as soon as I say that, we get a three-way split after a two-way split. This looks like it's a dead end. Moriana. Bug Nest is new. I'm glad we dipped our toe into All Slash, because this is a pretty useful tool to have. That looks like a lot. That does not. That looks like a weird dead end. Once again, it's kind of hard to tell just because of how this is laid out. Because we can see across it. I'm fairly confident that this game does not have any way to traverse water. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure some of the later ones have some stuff that lets you do stuff like that, but not a lot. And usually not within the dungeon. That looks like it's a pretty straightforward grid pattern. Oh my. Hello there. Do we want to try and take on an unknown FOE right now? What are the FOEs that we've got left in this area? There's a few. They're all weak to ice. So having Rusalka might be good. This also will just make it a little easier to clear this area out and might give us some more resources. Let's try it. Muck Dial. Just realized the downside of this is I don't know if this aggroes all the other ones around the area. So if this starts getting into multiple enemies, we might be in trouble. Yup, they're all aggroed. This might be actually a problem. Because I'm pretty confident about one, but it's going to take some resources. But I'm not confident about 3. Now, I will say, being able to AoE with my ice attacks would have probably made that a little bit more okay, but it would be a matter of keeping Rusalka safe and not burning through all my TP with healing, because having it is a plausible thing for us to do that. It is not. I feel like there's a difference between what we can do and what we should do, and how risky that is, though. So I think this is going to be another floor where we kind of weave in and out between, because I don't see a way for us to get to the upper half there from the floor we're on. So we probably have to go down and then back up. Oh, they're the spinners. That was lucky. Okay, so actually with a full heal available right there, how do I feel about this? Let's try it. We got a preemptive here. I'm seeing the slight problem here, which is it is strong against Pierce. Hence our Archer doing very little. So we're very reliant here on Lancelot and Rusalka. I think if I was prepping for this, I would probably actually bring maybe even Arthur along over or Cordelia. Didn't get its drop. And now we're surrounded. Are they going to both engage here? I think we actually still have to beat all three, which is slightly unfortunate. Maybe didn't plan that as well as we could have. But we did get another preemptive out of it. Defender, multi-hit. You can see there, getting multiple freezer triggers off that AoE is pretty huge. I didn't think that was doable in this game, but I'm not going to turn it down. And we got our gator skin. Okay, so that's all three of the Muckdales here. Okay, we have successfully finished that part off. Let's go ahead and loop back around down here. I'm very curious what we're going to be able to get with our new gear, or what new gear we're going to be able to get with these drops. And honestly, just the fact that we're getting the fact that we've got the healing fountain here is going to make this a lot easier, although I probably should still run back at some point. I'll check my inventory after this. We're only at 30. I can go a little deeper. Is this just a loop? No. Treasure chest. That was not a well-executed turn. I could have one-turned that, but I was dumb. So I'm actually thinking what I might do here. Well, Robin's good against pretty much everything but the muck dials, I think. Are the other FOEs... Kill claws are also just... like, resistant to physical. Yeah, most of the FOEs in this area are resistant to pierce. So maybe I do want to swap her out. The downside there is, of course, that means that I'm not getting... It means I'm not getting Stalker available, so that means more random encounters. New item, Carapace. That is actually something that is going to be beneficial. I think that was one of the items that gets paired with something. I want to say it was the upgraded Ward Bell, which actually, if we're not using Robin, could be nice. I think there's enough. Oh. Actually, yeah, if we go back, we have to walk all the way back down here too. Let's keep going then. I mentioned bringing Arthur along potentially. Oh, forgot about these. So these work by ferrying you all the way across the water. That is okay. So I was right that there's a way to cross the water to some extent. It's just not the standard way you would do that. So this brings us across. But that isn't a straight line. Interesting. I don't love that. Does this have a number thing? No. Great. Let's make sure that this actually takes us back the same way. It does. Okay, so those two are linked. I'm actually going to... I know that this doesn't actually have a purpose, but it's a good way to document it, I feel like. What is this guy? A sorter. Sorters are resistant to ice, so I'm gonna beat him down with everything. Actually, wait, slash and ice. Oof. So that one is literally just a shortcut further down the shore. I think, did I miss a path over here as well? No. Vamp Bat. That's scary. Considering that the regular bats were kind of scary. Got a swordfish scale. I will say it's interesting, along with the ice, or along with everything not being good, or bleh. I mentioned that fire wasn't good. But I'm starting to feel like, especially on this floor, ice might not be the best choice either. So I may actually even tag her out for Felix. Oh boy, this is gonna be one of these, isn't it? This is basically a teleporter maze. I'm not sure what I just did there. Oh, that's a zoom out. I am slightly mad that I didn't realize there was a zoom out until just now. I suppose one of the nice things about all the leveling and such I did earlier is the fact that it does give me some options now. The fact that we aren't reliant on just one party. Yeah, like pretty much all of our characters are or almost all of our characters, are at least leveled enough. Cut Crab is strong against physical. Yeah. Fortunately, I don't have a mage. Whoa! Suddenly FOE. So I know in some of the later games they have like a thing where you can mark like letters on it. It doesn't look like we have that option for this mapping. Which is why I'm using these arrows. That's a chop tile. I'm not sure how I mixed my tiles up that badly, but I've been fixing them all throughout as I've been mapping here. Hey, strawberries are actually really good. I'm glad we found strawberries there. Most of these go straight, which makes me a little bit less concerned about the actual pathing tool here. Yeah, because that was the last one I can draw. That's unfortunate. I guess I'll just do this. The idea here will be that I can do kind of one of these. And I'm assuming then this one is going to go out. That's the only one I'm not sure makes sense, so maybe what I'll do is I'll still keep this one connected like that. And then we'll see where that other one goes. So all these other ones are just straight paths, which makes it a little bit easier to decipher the path. Okay, so area I'm actually in. Stop fixing the map. I was literally just about ready to paint that in, and I'm glad I didn't. Okay, so this... Whoa, that scared the crap out of me. You reach a lake within the forest that seems as vast as the ocean. As you look about and wonder, a shadow appears before you. I warn thee, step no further into this vale. As the shadow steps into the light, you see it as a youthful-seeming girl. Her glare at you, however, smacks of malice more than innocence. I am Kupala, and this land is our sacred ground. Woe betide any who trespass. The girl disappears as quickly as she came. Could this be the humanoid life form? Cannot shake the feeling of unresolved business in the forest. Decide to go deeper. I mean, that feels very presumptuous of you, but okay. What if I didn't want to go deeper? Why are you telling me what I'm feeling, game? I'm guessing this is gonna possibly... Oh, this is a whole new area. Never mind. I was kind of hoping that was gonna be a shortcut. It was not. Still getting by. We're probably going to be full on items pretty soon here, which is not the most common reason to go back while exploring new floors. Usually it's TP, MP being out. Got a shred nail, which looks like a... Oh, geez, this is a... I hadn't actually looked around, and this is actually a very... multi-pathed island here. Okay, I want to actually check again where we're at. We're getting a lot closer here. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go up here. I'm going to finish exploring these ones, this corner. This one looks like a straight line. There's something in the way, but it still looks like it could be a straight line. Which might be a shorter path to get caught back up. Guess I shouldn't presume that. This one, again, will continue on here. Does this one actually connect down? Like, just drop me off here with no... Yeah, okay. So this one is a one-way, which is interesting as well. Actually, I guess let's just say this, because I don't think there's any other landmass up there. So this should take us across here. I want to see if this one connects the way that it looks like it will. Let me confirm that's correct. It does appear to be correct. Awesome. So this place is crazy. You can see here we've got a lot of pathing that we've done already, and it looks like there's a lot more to go. We've got these two upward paths. We've got these 3 lily pads at the bottom that we can ride on. But I think for now, put back over here. Oh, and we've got this whole other, like, section back here. Never mind. This is just a chop point, which we have already used our allotment for the day. So I know we're still pretty good on resources, but this video has been going for a while, and I feel like this is a good spot to head back. So we're gonna check Shilika's. That gator skin is huge. Lots of money. Claymore, Executor, Hunter Bow, Kotardi, Full Armor, Scale Helm, Gum Aspis, Hide Cape, Fire Mist, Ice Mist, Volt Mist, Gold Chime, Amrita 2, Excella 2. That's a lot. That's huge. And actually, that's a good... That might be part of the problem as well, is Survivalist is falling behind a little bit on damage because we don't have as good of equipment. Was not the case shortly, like a little bit ago. But that could be part of why we're running into damage issues there. Hide Cape is actually really good. Not that good. Full Armor is a significant upgrade on the Stud Vest. Gum Aspis is not as good. So I think we go Full Armor here. Is Full Armor just better for everybody? Equipable by lots of characters. Yep. Heat Aspis is better. So this will be a matter of whether we are going for Volt Resist. For fighting a Volt-based boss. Heat Aspis is better, currently. We do not have a better item here. That's a pretty good defense boost. But it is a TP drop. I think that's still worth it at this point. Just for the size of the bonus. And I think this is a good opportunity then. Like I said, we'll spy another Ariadne thread. Greatly decreases encounter rate, yep. These actually will reduce elemental damage, which we don't have a way to do currently, which can be nice. We're gonna go for Ariadne thread though, and leave the rest as is. Although actually, we are gonna go here and buy 2 Amrita 2s. I used my Amrita 2s and I bought regular Amritas to replace them, but these are not actually good at this point for the boss fights that we're using it in. So those Amrita 2s are much more usable. What does the Excella 2 do? Didn't we get an Excella 2, or was that a became available? Just became available. Okay. Boost points, which I don't really use. Okay. So yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and rest. And I'm going to do a little bit of thinking about what our party makeup should be for the rest of this. basically, Robin's probably going to be dropping. I don't think Arthur's going to be able to keep up on damage, so we're probably going to go with either Cordelia or Felix, who are should be able to help keep up on damage, but are also going to be hitting. I guess the only downside there is that we don't have a way at that point to kill the swordfish, because they're good against slash and ice, and we'd have lots of slashing damage. So, like I said, I'm gonna think about it a little bit. This was a very productive run. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And as always, have a good one. We'll catch you next time.